Okay, we're on. You ready yet?
Yes, we are in the air.
We're still early.
You're ready.
2 minutes. Yeah, I was at the Veterans in Norwich at 594 because they had questions. And it was a big meeting and there were a lot of people there.
Good.
Like 50 people there. So unusual.
These are items actually that need to be approved, and linked up and, or. What are you talking about? This is an email we got on Monday, and it just needs to be approved, to have this approved in the treasury.
Check right now.
No, that email needs to be on Monday.
Okay, I'm on veterans. Oh, that's how they're gonna speak. Okay, it's approved. Oh, God, okay. Yeah, send her.
Alrighty then, General. We are calling this meeting to order for the subcommittee involving the Military Department and Department of Veterans Affairs. General, the floor is yours if you want to give us a brief overview of what you would like to talk about.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Senator Austin, Senator Marks, Representative Nuccio, DeFranzo, and Acker. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Got the team here with us. As you know who I am, Commissioner, Adjutant General of our great Connecticut Military Department and Connecticut's home team. So just a brief summary. You have the formal remarks that we've submitted, but we currently have no changes to the 26-27 budget. Your Connecticut National Guard is in the midst of a period of intense activity and operational tempo. In 26, we will have over 750 guardsmen deployed overseas, with 240 who have recently returned. As we sit here today, there are 650 overseas. This agency will face similar familiar challenges on the scale that we've not seen and experienced since the end of COVID-19 pandemic, where up to a third of the Connecticut National Guard was mobilized for domestic response or deployed abroad. Those challenges include a return to prioritizing individual and unit training so that our members are fully prepared to respond effectively to emergencies in state, such as the recent Waterbury water system incident or the Hawthorne fire, as well as our federal mission. The training also requires a concerted effort on state and federal level to ensure that our guardsmen are resourced with training, maintenance facilities, and equipment to safely and successfully accomplish their assigned missions. In addition, as you heard us say before, in order to train soldiers and airmen, we must first recruit qualified civilians into our workforce. That is a pacing challenge through my tenure that we've consistently met, and with both the governors and your legislative support for the Connecticut National Guard JEEP program, the Joint Enlisted Enhancement Program, we're closing in on 200 new enlistments. So our newest members recruiting new members, that's the way we like it. Couldn't do it without that support for that program, so I say thank you. So the department appreciates this funding, urges the legislator's support so that the National Guard can continue to live up to its motto, always ready, always there. Again, we've submitted detailed testimony, so I want to thank you again, and we're prepared to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, General. Relative to the, are you sure you have enough relative to the operational line items that you have here? Veteran service bonuses, the JEEP program, you'll have more money this year. Is that working out?
Absolutely, and thanks for the question, Senator. As you see, when you look at 27, that increase in the veteran service bonus reflects those numbers that are currently deployed. So we'll pay that out next year or maybe late 27, early 28. But we do feel we're in great shape.
And Relative to the military honor guard, I have had some folks we are asking to change the word pay, amended to read allotment. Is there, rather than pay, because there's taxing obligations with the two different ones? Do you have a problem with that?
No, I don't. I would ask that the committee look at, I think during the sensing session yesterday with Veterans and Military Affairs, there's a concept of tax waiver for state active duty. So I'm fairly certain that the honor guards get paid with state active duty. So I'd line it up, all together. If there's
Okay.
truly going to be a benefit to those members that, pay tribute to our veterans on their final day.
Because the honor guard said they regularly do 2,000 to 3,000 military honors every year. And they had legislation that failed at the end of last year's session, but made it all the way out to that point, and they're just trying to up that legislation, so I'll send that
No,
over.
couldn't do that without them, with that state group. Again, state of Connecticut, for those who are not familiar with it, we go above and beyond the federal honors.
Yep.
And it's really a tribute to, again, on a veteran's last day, absolutely.
And relative to the continued deployments, are we seeing any need to further support families and people that come back from a deployment and then go back out on another deployment? Are we seeing a lot of increased deployments happening per individual, per unit? And then what's going on with the families?
No, I mean, we're on pace. These deployments are projected at least 2 or 3 years out. When those members deploy, we own the family piece of it. So our family program, our Yellow Ribbon, the federally mandated Yellow Ribbon program, is a federally funded program. We have many state and federal partners that contribute to that program. We'll have a Yellow Ribbon actually, not this coming Saturday, but on the 21st, in conjunction with a send-off ceremony for one of our units. So at this point, I think we're in pretty good shape. It's been a rocky road, as you know, over the last 12 months or so. Some funding is in flux. We're glad to have a budget now, so we can really flesh out where we're at. But from a family program perspective, we've got a good group, across the street that works with those units, family readiness groups, when the unit deploys, and actually training and funding and a whole package that leads up to the deployment cycle and then continues when the service member is deployed.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Senator Marks?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hi, General.
How are
So
you?
good to see you.
And this
I
is
miss-
Maria, I'm sorry.
Oh, hi,
This
Maria.
is our-
Nice to
our,
see you,
CFO.
too.
I forgot to introduce you up front.
Missed my service on Veterans and Military Affairs, so it's nice to see you here. In my 20th district, we have two Camp Net and then Stones Ranch Military Reservation. And I know when I went on the awesome helicopter tour, you had mentioned that you needed bonding for Camp Net, for the medical services where they go. I'm curious of how that is going and if there's anything else you need from us with that. And then I know that at Stones Ranch, you had bonded money to buy some more of the property around what you initially had. And if that is all finished, and if you're going to need more from us in the future to expand your services there.
Absolutely. So great question, Senator. Great memory. So I'll start with the property. Property's been solidified. So we were successfully able to prevent encroachment to a training facility down at Stones Ranch. And then we hope to be on the next bond commission meeting for $5 million in research and design for the $42 million medical research facility. That'd be an entirely 100% state-funded program. And a couple weeks back, we were able to get some members of the Veterans and Military Affairs Committee up to show them firsthand what that was all about, similar to the trip that you went on. So, it's a work in progress, but we think we're in great shape as well.
Do you need anything from the local delegation?
Not yet. I don't think so. When we
Okay.
get to the period where there's comments, open comments with, I forget the exact term, but when it goes out, we'll definitely be in communication with all of you for sure.
Okay, thank you
you.
for everything you do.
Thank you.
Representative Delaney, followed by Representative Nuccio.
Thank you, Madam Chair. General Levon, it's good to see you here today, sir. Maria, Captain Smalls, your entire team. I just want to start off by thanking you for your presence here today, for your service, and everything that you do for Connecticut's home team. Two questions. First around mission readiness, and second about military family support. Just in general, are there any looming issues impacting mission readiness that you think this committee should be aware of?
I'll tell you, like I said earlier with the Jeep program, the team briefed me last week. We have a great team. And the good news is for Connecticut that we still have members, civilians, that want to join, want to raise their right hand and be part of something larger than themselves. We hit last month, I should say, 30% market share when you compare the Connecticut National Guard recruiting efforts with the rest of the services. That's a great position to be in. It's up from 25%, maybe the low 20% over 6 months to a year ago. So I think we're in good shape. We're postured for growth. So, at the federal level, you'll hear about the $1.5 trillion. We fight every day to get a larger piece of that. And we do think that when we talk about capabilities with regards to cyber, we currently have a cyber detachment. We think that unit could grow larger. And there are also other elements that we know are struggling in New England, and we're not. So we're about to arm wrestle with some of my counterparts in other states to loosen up some structure and get the National Guard Bureau on board to endorse that. But we are in great shape and lucky that we're postured for growth. Many other states are not. I will tell you, though, from a budget perspective, from a federal budget perspective, again, the bumper sticker is $1.5 trillion. We've probably seen about a 10 to 15% cut in some pots of money, whether it's personnel or even some of the training dollars. Again, now that we have a budget, we'll start to work through that and iterate the process. We already have a UFR on the personnel side, but it's a continuous process that we keep working with monthly reviews on the financial side.
Thank you, sir. Madam Chair, I have one more question, if that's okay.
Go ahead, sir.
So moving from mission readiness to family support, are there any of our support systems that are lifting up our military families that are seeing any strain or underperforming that you think this committee should be aware of?
I think there was a great meeting yesterday with Veterans and Military Affairs when we talk about employment, getting, troops to trades, things like that. Our employer support for the Guard and Reserve program, going back 5 or 8 years ago, probably had 5 people. We're down to one individual that covers a couple of states now. When it comes to the transition assistance, the TAA, Transition Assistant Advisor, that program has basically, this is no longer available. So anything that we can do to get our members, currently serving members and our veterans, full-time employment is key. And we've been working with both Department of, all of our state agencies, quite honestly, to work that. They are frequently at our events. So when our newest service members come back from their initial training, we host a mini job fair per se with state agencies and other partners, municipalities, even the police force. Obviously, we teach right down in Niantic. We teach the military police course. So there are many municipalities, including the state police, that come to those graduations and offer, positions to our individuals as well. So I think we're in good shape from a family readiness standpoint. It's, like I said, a constant grind when we research money and go into access, or what I like to say, OPM, other people's money. So I'm a huge proponent of that. And I think that was a key takeaway from the concept hearing yesterday.
It was a great concept yesterday, and as a soldier who went through the transition assistance program, I appreciate you bringing that to light, sir. Thank you for your service, and that's all the questions from me today.
Thank you, sir.
Cool.
Thank you.
Representative Nuccio.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't really have any questions. Your budget is pretty straightforward, and it hasn't changed, other than, do you feel like this budget is adequately reflective of what you need for the next year?
26, 27, and then we're already starting to work on the next two. Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you for your service. Thank you for everyone's was out there and deployed in that, and thank you for taking care of them.
Thank you.
Representative Acker.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and General, thank you for your testimony and the good work that you do. 2 questions. So you talked about the deployed members, right? And then you mentioned the work that you're also doing stateside here, the response team that you have. Is there a point at which you get concerned of too many people being deployed and not enough resources here for in Connecticut or New England?
No, that's a great question. So we do monitor that quite often. It's a 50, 25, 25% model. So 50% back here at home, 25% deployed, 25% prepping for deployment. We coordinate with our other states, so if we need a mutual aid compact, if there were capabilities that we knew were going to be deployed that we would potentially need in a state emergency, those ongoing conversations with other states and with Office of Emergency Management are pretty much ongoing. It is a concern, but I think we're in pretty good shape. We will have members coming back, rotating back when the next larger group basically departs. So we need to get through the winter, obviously, and the next hurricane season. But I think it's something we always look at, to be honest with you.
Great, thank you. I'm glad to hear about that. I imagine also that collaboration is key. You said that to the local area, other states. That's great. And to follow up, I was honored to be asked as somebody that was a troop that went into the trades back in many years ago. So I was passionate about the working group, the forum that we held regarding the troops trades job legislation. But a lot of discussion came also on the spouses. That also, how do we make sure that along with that, and your way in at any point of this would be going along the process of that legislation, that make sure that when you do drag your spouse along with you to another state, that we have the ability for them to also get employed in a trade, a lot of it, certification, whatever it may be. So I guess that was an area that we found that a lot of testimony came. A great percentage of the spouses were unemployed. So an area that would like to get your feedback in from your members at any point.
Definitely, and no, we would support that program. I think the percentage of our members that actually go state to state is probably a lot smaller than, let's say, the sub-base and our Navy brothers and sisters. However, if we had a service member, if we had another tool in our kit that said, hey, you joined the Connecticut National Guard, Connecticut's home team, and oh, by the way, here's these options for potential employment for your spouse, I think that'd be a win-win. So we definitely would support that, absolutely.
Great, thank you for that input.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, General. How are you?
Excellent.
Good to see you and your whole team here today. I missed a couple of minutes at the beginning, so if this is repetitive, just tell me. We know you had deployments and some have returned. And now, as you're saying, you're deploying a few more people. Do you see an increase in the numbers of people you are going to need to deploy going down the road, say, the next year or so?
No, I think that's a great question. I think we're going to hit our max this year like we did during the year of COVID. And the
Okay.
next couple of years will definitely be less. Do I see the deployments going away? Absolutely not. There is some discussion, at least within the Army, that some of the reoccurring deployments, like to Cuba and to Kosovo, may go away. But, as we stand here today, we represent 20% of the joint force for 4% of the Department of War budget. On the Army Guard side, we represent 30% of the operational force, 39%. On the Air Force side, it's 30%. So quite honestly, the Guard is on just about any mission. We had members participate in Operation Hammer. Can't really get into the details, but you could think about how our airmen were part of that operation from across the nation. So I don't see that really subsiding anytime soon, honestly.
Can I ask another question?
Yep.
With repeated deployments, did you see any change in the numbers of people overall in the Guard, like fewer re-enlisting or something?
Now, our re-enlistment rates are still pretty healthy. Our attrition rates need to improve, but we're about 2% off of where we need to be. And some of that's just in the way they calculate the numbers. But we have not seen anything negative per se. With some of the younger soldiers and airmen, we actually see that they're very eager to get a deployment or two under their belt. But and hopefully we take care of them so they do re-enlist. But we haven't seen anything drastic, honestly.
Okay. And one more, ma'am?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Unlike being at a specific military base like Fort Bragg or whatever, you've got the whole state of Connecticut here. So when you deploy people, you've got families all over the state of Connecticut. Are there any problems with supporting those families while they're deployed? Do they get access to all the services they need, whether it's PX commissary? And I was going to ask about medical also. Do the families qualify for medical service support while the military person is away?
So the families qualify, they do, right? Yeah. So let's get this, 90 days prior to?
180 is when the soldier is 90 days from family.
So they do so they do qualify both prior to deployment, and then after through TRICARE. So that's definitely a benefit that's helpful. Obviously, we're always looking, and many of the New England states were always looking for more TRICARE providers per se, because every medical institution doesn't necessarily take TRICARE as a primary, but they are definitely eligible. And then as a small state, I think a couple of predecessors ago really coined the phrase Fort Connecticut. So, we don't have a military base.
Yeah.
Besides the sub base, and our full-time members use the sub base, the Family and Fleet Center, our members, it's open, and then we replicate similar to the Family and Fleet Center with our family readiness groups. We have, at least 8 family readiness advisors that are throughout the state. Most of them are here in Hartford, but they do get out to wherever the unit is or where the population density is for a given unit that mobilizes. So we're pretty comfortable with the support there.
Okay.
I mean, we're always looking for more help, obviously, for the families, but we're in pretty good shape.
Good.
Unfortunately, we've got the iterations after the last 20 to 25 years.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Senator Marks for the second time.
Thank you. It's a luxury to be able to ask more questions, so more than one question. So thank you for putting up with us. What is happening in Groton at the airport with the hangar? I don't know what the real word is. That I know when we had the tour, much expansion needed to be done, as there's nowhere else that really fixes all of the aircraft. How is that going?
That's a great question. Great memory. I'll thank the team because it resonated what they told you.
Yeah.
So that's as you know, that's one of our largest facilities. We employ over 250 technicians. If you haven't been there, let me know and we'll get you out there. But they take a Black Hawk and a Chinook and an Apache down to bare metal and rebuild it. They save the Army a truckload of money. It unfortunately at the airport, it's in a floodplain. It's the #1 project that we're looking for. So working with our congressional delegation to get funding, and it's a competitive process with other states. But that's our #1 project. We also think that there's potential for growth. I talked to the Army Guard director earlier this week when we talk about how the Black Hawk will be around until 2045, 2050, and it needs to be modernized. What you saw, those technicians down there that are working on the aircraft, I think are a solution. Some of the numbers on throughput that we saw that the Army wants the contractors to do, I think we are already there, and it could be a great opportunity for Connecticut, and that unit is one of 4 states, one of 4 units like that throughout the National Guard. We think we can definitely be helpful, but it's our #1 project. We're always looking for property down in that area to see where they can go. We're probably going to formalize a union with the Civil Air Patrol as well, so they would have a piece of that. I know they're right across the street in some pretty older trailers that don't have running water or heat.
They don't have
much.
bathrooms.
So we're going to work with them as well. As just a side note, but it's the #1 ask from a military construction future project that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So that's only one of 4 in the entire country, not in Connecticut.
It's the entire country. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And how much, where do all the aircraft come from? I mean, all
So
over,
we
right?
support, out of Groton, Connecticut, we support 14 different states. That goes all the way down to the Carolinas as well. But there's 14 different states, so when you think about building readiness from a rotary wing aircraft perspective, every day we're contributing to building readiness, and we think we can do more with the modernization package as well.
Very exciting. I highly recommend going for a field trip there. It's fascinating.
I just want a plane ride. I know. I want a plane ride.
Invited.
I love the
went-
plane
I've
ride.
gone once.
Yeah,
One of my
that's-
favorite pictures of me ever
Yeah.
taken is getting on that helicopter.
The helicopter.
My brother, who's military, like kept telling me to sit by the jump seat. I'm like, you're out your mind. Like no, like he's like no. I'm like he's like no, it's a rush. I'm like yeah, a rush out. Like no.
Anybody else? For the second, third, fourth time? I'm just letting you know, you all said the same things in entirely different ways, but you all talked about the same thing. I was getting texts. How many times are we asking the same question, Kathy? I don't know. They all got a question. I'm teasing. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you very
General,
much. Appreciate the
it.
support. Thank you.
Up next. Commissioner Welch, also a general. Lots of generals here today. I'm going to stick to the lowly sergeant.
I was born on an Air Force base. Does that count as anything?
No.
No.
Commissioner, the floor is yours. Department of Veterans Affairs is up.
So, good afternoon, Senator Austin, Representative Nucio, Senator Marks, Representative Eckert, Representative Fonicello, and Representative Delaney. Did I miss anybody?
Yeah, oh, he's not there now. Go ahead.
Left. Okay.
You got everybody.
Really appreciate the opportunity today to testify in front of you and to be able to talk about our Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs that we are so proud of and the governor's proposed budget. The mission of Department of Veterans Affairs is serving those who serve, and with those 4 words comes a great deal of responsibility. It's because those who have served and who have continued to serve that we can live in the free democratic society that we live in today. We thank our veterans who are current and our service members who are currently serving across the state and nation for their service and sacrifice. Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs also recognizes family members of those who have served and are presently serving as they bear the sacrifice of their loved one's service, and we work to extend the appropriate benefits to them. Established in 1864, we're the oldest veterans home and hospital in the United States. We continue to serve approximately 146,000 Connecticut veterans, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year through our 4 core missions. The first is our residential facility providing housing, vocational and rehabilitative services for individual veterans and their families. And I would like to report not in our testimony, written testimony, but today our census was 149 between our family members and our facility, which we're really happy about. It's the highest census we've had in several years. Our healthcare center is a 5-star center for Medicare and Medicaid. It has 125 skilled nursing beds, and it provides around-the-clock nursing care to our veterans who call our campus home. Our Office of Advocacy and Assistance assists veterans and their spouses and eligible dependents in obtaining benefits to which they may be entitled to at the local, state, and federal level. And lastly, we provide cemetery and memorial services to our veterans and eligible dependents. And I would like to note that this past year we did approximately 770 dignified memorial services across the street at Colonel Gates in our main cemetery down in Middletown. At Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs, we continue to update our programs, procedures, and facilities to improve our delivery of services efficiently and effectively. We're nearing completion of our 2 ARPA-funded renovation projects that will add an additional 46 units of short-term housing for our homeless veterans and their families. Additionally, we have completed the replacement of our electronic health record in our skilled nursing facility, and we currently are awaiting closing out on some appraisals for some property for a potential new large-scale veteran cemetery. The Department of Veterans Affairs continues to strive for energy efficiency on our main campus in Rocky Hill. In conjunction with Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, we are replacing our aging boiler Good news there is we'll end up saving $30,000 a month. We're currently renting a boiler with a new energy efficient system. Moreover, we're working with Connecticut Green Bank and will break ground on this project in the spring to install 2 very large solar fields right towards the front portion of our campus. We continue to expand our partnership with at the local, state, and federal level, along with our nonprofit agencies as well as statewide veteran service organizations. It's all about pooling resources, coordinating our efforts, and expanding our services for our veterans. This past spring, we opened our renovated Veteran Resource Center across the street, moving closer to our goal of making our campus a one-stop veteran shop. The governor's proposed budget enables Department of Veterans Affairs to continue improving our service delivery throughout FY 2027. And I'd just like to close with, it's really an honor to serve in this position. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had. Having served in the military for nearly 40 years, this is a great way to be able to extend my service to our great state and nation. And very importantly, I'd like to thank all of you for what you do every day to support our military and veteran community. We're prepared to take your questions.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm not really sure if I should say Commissioner or General. I always try to figure out which one I should be saying. Yeah.
Commissioner General?
Either way.
What would we just call you, CG?
So, thank you for doing what you do. I think it's really important. We always look at things that have a public perception issue. One of those is a decrease in the headstones by $100,000 on a line item that is only, it's fully a third of the line item. Are you going to have enough to deal with the issues that you have to deal with relative to that line item? I'm not certain why it went down 100,000, but is it usage?
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Grennan. I am the fiscal manager at the Department of Veterans Affairs. We had put that option, or that was a result of, over the past 3 to 5 years, the expenditures in that account have come down due to best practices and some changes that they had made over the cemetery, reducing the overall costs. More of those services are provided by our own cemetery staff rather than outsourcing those to some other entity to perform.
So I want to be able to explain that very clearly, because when people see us taking money away from providing headstones for veterans, then it's really badly received. So it's an optics issue that I think that we should be able to, if you could bring the last, you said 3 to 5 years,
Yes.
and sort of outline what you're doing different so that we can explain it and take away that perception right away. So that's something that I think that would be very helpful for us. And relative to the work that's been done at your facility right down the road, there were a lot of buildings on there that are no longer used. Is there a plan that has been put together to both upgrade some of the facilities that you're using, some of the buildings you're using? I mean, you go there, some of the windows are really old. You've been doing a lot of work there.
Right.
What is the capital stack that's going on at
That's a great question, Senator Austin. We have a capitalization plan, brings us out the next 5 years. We have revisited it. We've had a lot of changes, key changes in our staff, and we're looking at everything a little bit differently. Does it make sense, for example, to spend $7 million on the old hospital to replace the roof when there's significant infrastructure problems inside of it? It'll never be used as a hospital again. So the water tower, another one. We've engineer assessment, a lot of design work has been done, but does it make sense to make that kind of an investment? May provide us another 10 years of usage. It's not our primary source of water. We're using some of it for fire suppression and some of it for 5 buildings on the campus.
Right.
But the long-term solution there is to complete the water loop so we can get off the water tower. We're working very closely with administrative services to really determine what makes sense, what is the most feasible and best use of our taxpayers' dollars, and what's going to benefit our veteran population
Right.
the most. I mean, it's a 92-acre campus, 80 to 85 years old, real aging infrastructure, and as you said, there are many buildings that are vacant. So our opinion is if we can't repurpose it and there's no use for it, then we should probably take it down.
It makes a lot of sense to me to dispose of buildings that are not going to ever come back online, because it just is, it's a problem waiting to happen. There's always someone who may come on your facility. There's always fire issues that happen with vacant buildings after a while, or vandalism that happens, and there's no sense in having them if you're not going to be able to put them back to use, in my opinion. I think we should get rid of some of the older buildings, and then make sure those buildings that are being used are up to snuff to provide good housing and good services for the veteran population that's there. My uncle actually lived there for the last few years of his life, and his wife went there every day to give him his meals because he wouldn't take it from anybody else. So, it's got a lot of history in it. A lot of people have used that facility over the years, and I think that it's something that we should make sure is up to snuff. Are there any questions? Are we all going to ask the same question? I don't know. Senator Marks, followed by
Hi,
Representative
Commissioner,
Delaney.
and Ms.
How are
Gardner,
you?
is that your name?
Brennan.
Mary Grennan.
Grennan. Hi, Mary. Thank you. It's great to see you. As co-chair of housing and as a practicing nurse, I am so thankful for what you do. In Rocky Hill, the nursing home is, it's amazing, and I was so impressed when I visited it. And the housing, especially the family housing, I think is so important. How is, are you able, I'm sure you have a waiting list, if not, you will soon. Are you able to get veterans from outside the region, or is it difficult? I'm sure it might be difficult for people to leave the community where they've lived for decades sometimes, but yet there's not always housing anymore for our veterans. So how is it getting the veterans from outside of Rocky Hill to go up to where you are?
Sure. So we offer quite a few tours, and we look at folks like you to be kind of our advocates. I've done several podcasts that are on our website talking about our facilities. We have our veteran service officers out in each congressional district. They're very familiar with the programs and services that are there. But Senator, you did hit on a key point, especially for the elderly population. It becomes a challenge for their families sometimes to visit them, whether they're in a residential program or in a skilled care facility. We every year go through a survey from the federal VA and Department of Public Health. And this past October, we ended up, it's the first time that I know of in the history of the facility of having no deficiencies in the healthcare center. So it retains its 5-star rating. On the residential side, we only had a couple deficiencies, and we very quickly fixed those.
One more.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is there anything that we can do to help with the transportation for families, if that is the only housing that some people might be able to get, or really very safe housing, right? I mean, to have 5 stars, no deficiency in the nursing home is very, very impressive. Mm-hmm. Is there any services out there for the families to be able to visit, or is there anything we could do to help with that?
Another really good issue, we haven't staffed that out and really taken a look at it, but it's a good point.
Thank you.
Representative Delaney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner, it is great to see you again. Ma'am, thank you so much for being here with us today. I just want to say thank you to you and your staff before we get started. I have two questions for you. First, revolving around the budget projections for the potential free bus passes from OTG, and the second one revolving around our funded versus unfunded positions. First, for the bus pass, very happy to see that coming out of the governor's office, and have been a proud supporter of some version of that bill over these last few years. It is my understanding from our testimony on our previous iterations of this initiative that the main push from the implementing agency would be from the Department of Transportation, saying that the increased costs would go to their agency rather than the DVA. Have there been any conversations between your office in terms of interoperability between the commissioner, or between the DOT and the DVA, on the implementation of this initiative?
Right, so thank you, Representative Delaney. We started some initial conversation with the Commissioner of Transportation.
Yep.
It's our understanding that the money will come to us, and we will be responsible to procure the appropriate passes. But we're still in the real early stages to figure out exactly how we're going to do this.
Roger that, thank you. Second, with regards to funded versus unfunded positions, can you tell me how many funded versus unfunded positions we currently have? And then my follow-up question will be with regards to the increased veteran service officers that we put in for last year as part of the Connecticut HERO Act to help signing veterans up to their benefits. Can you tell me where we are on that?
So our total funded headcount is 245. And of the 245, we have 217 currently assigned.
Thank you, Commissioner. And how many of those would you say still need to be filled from our VSOs from the Connecticut HERO Act from last year?
So the total that are in process out of that delta is about 20 right now, total employees that are somewhere in the mix. In terms of the veteran service officers, we will start interviewing primarily for the team of 3 that'll be up in the Northeast. Our deputy commissioner is up in Putnam today, taking a look at a facility that DSS commissioner, I've talked to him a couple times, and he's going to try to work out some space for us in that facility.
Thank you, Commissioner, and I just want to say a thank you to Sergeant Major Carragher, your deputy commissioner, for the good work that he and his team do. Thank you. And are there any, is it okay if I ask one follow-up question?
No, you already went to 3.
Roger that. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Commissioner.
You
That'll
can
be all
come
for me.
back and ask another question later, but you have already gone to 3. You went beyond the rules.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
Representative Nuccio first, and then Representative Funchal.
You want me to kick her?
No,
See, he's
That's
smiling. He
abuse.
does. See?
that's abuse.
We're going down the
Um,
abuse track today with me and Kathy here. First of all, thank you very much for coming. One of the questions that we're asking everybody is to kind of break out what you have in your OE. So if it's like rent or supplies, or if there's any programs or anything that's in there, if you could bring that to the work group, that would be very beneficial. And then my other question is, one was around the OE, the increase in OE for the veteran housing and support, and then what exactly that was. It didn't really say what it was increasing, so I think if we get that breakout, that'll be good. And the other thing is, I'm asking everybody for all of your line items that you have, all the different programs that you have, if you could just bring a high level of what that program is, what it does, who it supports, and any kind of metrics that you're using to evaluate those programs, I would greatly appreciate it.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Go ahead. You'd like me
No,
to?
no, I'm good.
High level of our overall programs and services?
So
So-
the line items, so like, for instance, you have SSMF administration, Veterans Opportunity Pilot, the Veterans Rally Point, like, those are the different
Okay.
line items in your budget.
Yeah.
If you could just kind of bring like a high-level explanation, like, Veterans Rally Point is this,
Okay.
it does that, it helps
Yeah,
these people, here are what
absolutely.
metrics that we
Yeah.
look at with it.
Veterans Rally Point, fantastic location, one-stop shop. It is, provides a full range of programs and services. It's opened 12 hours a day from 6 till 6, Monday through Friday, basically. And, you know, when you walk through the front door, yoga meditation, employment services, down the hall there's behavioral health, there's a little military display area, there's an open space for large-scale activities, big peer meetups, dinners, I'm getting into the weeds, but it's,
That's
they have AA meetings open to the public. They have pottery typically programmed on Tuesdays and Thursday. Friday, they have sewing, woodworking, available in the maker space. There's also a large fitness center, which they've expanded their hours to Saturday for half a day. That fitness center has a climbing wall, it has cardio equipment, strength equipment, and there's a large food pantry. They have teamed with United Way, providing free food to the veteran population that is really struggling, many, especially the elderly, vets that are in that area. They're in there every single day. And then there's a large kitchen. I call it a commercial grade kitchen. I know quite a bit about the program. That's where I came from prior to having this job. But I would say that, not talking to them recently, they've had about, no exaggeration, probably about 50,000 veterans and family members have gone into that facility to either visit, to get food, to work out, to go into maker space, whatever the case may be.
That's
And
great.
it
You're-
is open to those currently serving active military, National Guard reservists, as well as our veterans, of course. As far as the
Oh,
soldiers,
you don't have to do it all now. Like, you know, if it's
Yeah.
easier to just bring like that little summary to
Okay.
the work meetings, then, you know,
Yep.
that's fine. You know, this, because you don't have a lot of line items here. And
okay,
they're all good programs, but it's just for consistency perspective, just,
Yep.
we're asking everybody to kind of, I'm asking everybody to bring those.
And they also have a huge behavioral health program there that has been bringing in federal dollars. I would say that Eastern Connecticut is the largest veterans population in the state, is home-based in Eastern Connecticut. Truth be told, I go there all the time. It's a great place to just be and to talk to people and to talk about whatever you might have going on. And I would say that, you know, in part because of the suicidal idealizations that happen, both with current veterans just getting out of the service, but also a lot of our Vietnam veterans, based on the fact that they're no longer as busy as they were, are starting to see consequences of going back over what they had going on. And so it's been very helpful to have this right in the area, right down the road from a National Guard place too. Some of the National Guard guys use it, men and women. So it's great. And Ron helped set the whole thing up, so he knows the whole program intimately. Representative
but
Feinberg.
again, the only reason we were able to do it is because it was supported by, the General Assembly supported it.
Yeah.
So,
Representative?
Thank you. Thanks, General, and thanks both of you for your service. I'm a veteran. I'm currently in the American Legion, and we try to help veterans in the area as much as we can. So I want to give a shout out to the veterans support people. I think you have them, one in each U.S. congressional district?
correct.
Is that right?
There's two, they're called Veteran Service Officers, plus an administrative person, each one of the 5 congressional districts.
Okay, so a real shout out to Jason in the 5th District. So Jason, if you're listening, you owe me here. Now, are their salaries included in your budget? Are they your employees?
Yes, they are.
They are, okay. I know that now. And I recently, and I mentioned it, I think the other day, we had a World War II veteran who passed away, about 102 years old. And so I found out more about the whole process. And we know that funeral directors are supposed to make sure that they provide the families with what they need, headstones, flags, or whatever. And I was surprised to hear that they get the flags at the local post office. So my question on that is, who pays for them? Is that part of your budget, like under burial expenses or something like that, or?
It's not part of our budget.
Okay,
And, you know, the good news for us in Connecticut is the Connecticut Funeral Home Association meets with us a couple times a year to make sure that everybody's on the same sheet of music in terms of what programs and services are available through our Dignified Memorial Service Program.
okay. Well, thank you, and to the service officers, they take care of the families, they know all the answers. So you got a bunch of happy customers out there. So thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate it.
Representative Ackert?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and General, it's always great to see you.
Great to see you, Jim.
You had mentioned the new, I believe you said 46-room temporary units, temporary
So-
stay units?
So what happened with that 5 million in ARPA? It got broken out into, I'll say, 2 different areas. The first is John Levittow Lane. 6 houses there were completely redone. Some, some older material had to be remediated, and got those in really great shape. So 6 families can move in there now. We've got 3 out of 6, so we look forward to filling those additional houses. And on the top of the hill, the very top of the campus, we call it Building 51. And Building 51 has 6 family units on the left side as you look at it, and the rest are apartments there. So the total that we programmed initially was for 46. It's probably going to be a little bit less than that when it's all said and done. But we'll have the formal ribbon cutting for that project. We had it for Levittow Lane, obviously in October, and on the top of the hill, we'll have that in the late spring, early summer.
And you had mentioned temporary stay.
Yes.
So how long does a family typically stay or
So
in a facility?
the family can stay up to 2 years.
Okay.
What we're going to try to do with the apartments on the top of the hill is look for the veteran population that are struggling, that are coming back from these current deployments, and we're going to try to do shorter stays with them to get them re-engaged, get them re-employed if they're unemployed, and try to cycle more through that part of our housing versus the traditional housing on the main campus.
And then just to follow up on that, you said, and then employment. And so are you, obviously we're talking about, with the troops to trades legislation that was being discussed. Do you have the resources in-house for like placement, or is that something that you work with an organization to help returning veterans
So we
with
have-
job placement?
Great question, Representative Becker. In the program, as far as the rehabilitative service part of it, we have a gentleman that focuses on, it's a veteran rehabilitative work program. And we have between 16 and 20 veterans typically employed in that program. They work in the kitchen, they do some basic painting and cleaning of the facility. That the goal of that program was to keep them gainfully employed and then transition them to other employment.
Excellent.
So I would say we've been marginally successful with that program. We've downsized part of it. On our website, we do have some information and working with the American Job Centers that are around the state of Connecticut. They do have a veteran employment representative embedded within those American Job Centers. So that's ideally the place for a veteran to go. That person I talked about before, Chuck, he can help any veteran basic resume and job searching and, the basic fundamental things to help them get employed.
Great. Thank you again, General, and good to meet you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Representative Delaney, back to you for the second time to ask that additional question you had.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Quickly, are you expecting any issues, or are we currently having any issues with the hiring of the new veteran service officers to help your team sign veterans up for benefits?
No, we look forward to, there's a huge applicant pool when those jobs get posted.
Roger that. We're looking forward to having them.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments or questions? Seeing none, General, you're all set. Thank you very much for all your help. Appreciate you.
Once again, as I close, thank you all for everything that you do every single day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, just so you know, we have a total of 6 people signed up to speak. Six, count them. S-I-X.
So you're gonna let us ask
That
questions?
means,
Spell them.
that means that